Hey, how you doing, guys? This is Richie. Grendel War Child. We took a look through 1 and 2. Now we're going to look through 3 and 4. And another great Simon Bisley cover. It's funny, I like looking at the ads in the back. I remember when this came out, Dr. Giggles. I actually went to go see this in the movies when it came out, and I walked out of the theater. It was absolutely horrible. But that was the 90s for you. All right, let's take a look. Same team: Matt Wagner, Patrick McCone, Monty Sheldon. Inking assist, that might be different. Color art by Bernie Moralt and Catherine Delaney. Lettering by Kurt Hathaway. Now this is chapter 43 in the overall story of Grendel, but this is issue number 3 of War Child. So they're in the swamp. Here's an alligator and nice coloring. And it's almost funny to me. It almost seems like the coloring is getting better as the issues go on. Like, don't forget, coloring in these days was a lot different than it is now. Computers were newer. They were still experimenting and trying to figure things out. But this looks really good. And of course, it's on this old, I don't know if this would be considered Baxter paper, but it's got like a slight gloss, but it's not really glossy. Here's a great, great splash page. Grendel and his motorcycle here with the kid on the sidecar. And they're just cruising through the swamp. They kill this frog by accident. Now, Madame Grendel is what I'm calling her. The ex-wife of Grendel Khan, I believe, who is now deceased. And his son is traveling with Grendel Prime. And it says, you, of course, well aware that the late Grendel Khan went to his grave jealously guarding the intricate ignition sequence for his ultimate weapon, this now dormant sun disk. Our latest conclusions lead us to believe that our abductor is in actuality a Palladian trained by the Khan for the ultimate task of protecting his only son at all costs. So Grendel Prime is a weapon. And she knows she's in for a rough ride. Tells the kid, sit down, I know you're getting anxious, get back in the car. Swamp is a dangerous place for a child. And boop, he slips into the water, and here comes an alligator. And Prime starts wrestling with the alligator. This issue is much brighter than the last couple. Brighter colors, not as muddy. And he just wrecks the alligator. Should have ate it. I heard alligator meat's pretty good. Never tried it myself, but I would. So, cruising through the swamp. Sure enough, here comes some more of these red Grendels after him. Sent by the Madame Khan, I guess we would call her. And right off the bat, he's just crushing them. Latest reports place them deep in the most heavily isolated section of the swamps. It would seem we have them, so she says, just as we had them in the desert and in Chicago and in New York. But you don't really believe that, do you? I thought as much. Who would have thought my much lamented husband could continue to thwart me so even after his own death? And her sidekick here says the Grendel Khan was the most capable man, madam. And she says, I know. I want my daughter's room in the Dakota complex. So he takes out Russell Shook. Something's in the water. Back to the Madame Grendel's daughter. and her caretaker or guardian or bodyguard or whatever you want to call her. I really don't know, ma'am. She doesn't seem to be here at the moment. And the kid's telling her no. She dislikes her mother. Our way is blocked, and so we must turn and fight. I have to seal you in again. And all of a sudden, the swamp opens up, and he goes in. And they're like, where'd he go? They're confused. So, Madame Khan and the daughter are talking. They don't like each other, but they have to deal with each other because they're family. And Grendel Prime and the kid are walking through the swamp. It's like this classic tale of witch in the swamp, like a Hansel and Gretel type thing. So, kid's sealed in. He walks up. Enter freely, you that bring such death in the name of life. I know the swamps are damp. Come warm yourself by my fire. Isn't that what the witch said to Conan in the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? He says, no, I saw no smoke and thought this cabin deserted. We are in flight and our pursuers would surely take revenge on any that aid us. He says, oh, you're safe enough here, my friend. I'm safe enough here. Ha ha ha. He's got the idea. Come in tall and dark. Come in. Got anything to trade? I have some medicines in my vehicle. Chemicals I could use. A new knife, though. Bah, chemicals. She doesn't want chemicals. But what can you offer us in return? She says, plenty. Very close. And the mother and the Madame Khan. So it'll be just a tad longer. We're very close to solving this whole mess about Jupiter, I promise. So the witch takes her clothes off and starts doing some type of ritual. She takes the kid's urine, some of his hair, and some of the kid's blood, and she drinks it and does some weird ritual. She says, go. You may continue your journey without fear. Take the eastern path. Go. So they leave and they head out. And the witch is literally helping them. She made them invisible. So they drove right by the other Grendels who were trying to capture them. Huh. And then boom, there's some explosion. So they go towards the explosion in the water. Unfortunate news, madam. Apparently both young Jupiter and his captor have been eliminated accidentally. Oh, so they made it look like they're dead now. And she says, what? But how? An overzealous squadron. An unexpected explosion. They're both completely destroyed. It would seem that immediate confrontation is unavoidable. So the witch tricked them. Oh, so now they come upon a boat. And he says, stay away from the railing. I know the view is fascinating, but there will be time enough once we are safely out to sea. And in the world of Grendel, there is no safety. Number 4, another great cover, Simon Bisley. Number 1 and number 4 are the 2 best covers. Look at that. Man, I would kill to have those paintings. And back in the day, they were probably affordable. Probably sold them for $4,000, $3,000. Now they're probably worth $100,000. But I saw a video once of somebody who collected all his paintings and had bought them years ago. Anyway, chapter 44, Devil in the Deep Blue Sea. So they're on this boat. And there's, it's like they're moving stuff around, the people who are on the boat, and they come across pirates. I ain't the type that scares easy, Captain, but I ain't no fighter either. None of us are. None of us are. So Madame Grendel goes on TV saying, the kid's dead, this and that. But she doesn't realize that they're still alive, at least not yet. So they're trying to prepare for these pirates, and Grendel Prime tells the captain he needs to talk. He's got a plan. You are absolutely incapable of avoiding an encounter with our pursuers. Freighters aren't normally pirate prey, Captain. What are you hauling? He said sheet metal and oxon tanks, both for automotive factory in Rosanda. They want the chemicals that are on the freighter boat. Crew's not a young one. There's only a handful of passengers. Grendel says, hey, I got a plan. But it's going to require the execution of 4 of your crewmen. So now he's like, you got to be kidding me. And he tells him that's our only chance. He even drops his flask. So he's getting bombed. Back to the daughter of Madame Grendel and her bodyguard. Now you can almost feel there's like some kind of sexual tension between them, or something's about to happen. And she's practicing the gymnastics. Be careful. More centered, better. Thanks. So looks like they're starting to form a relationship. And the captain of the boat is just saying, I can't do this, man. I can't do this. They are vicious, habitual killers. We have no hope without the element of surprise. So they take some of the drunkards that are locked up underneath, and they bring them up. And the captain says, why don't we use the kid, kill the kid? And he's like, no. I spoke of the battle, not him. Then you decide. It's your wicked plan. You make the choice. They are your men. Summon them now. We need to make use of that sheet metal. So Madame Khan is at like a conference with all world leaders. The world is in disarray. Now that Grendel Khan is dead, they're lacking a true leader. And of course, once the true leader dies, the rest start fighting. So they need to avoid world conflict. Grendel starts setting up for the coming attack. And he tells the kid, I'm sorry, I got to lock you in again. This might be for a while, but don't worry, no matter what you hear. The prisoners are on the deck like you asked. Dr. Giggles, what a horrible movie. So Grendel cuts up. Oh, he killed his buddy, his second in charge. So he hacks these guys up and spreads their blood all over the deck. So when the pirates get there, they're like, what is going on? They finally catch up to him. They board, and there's dead people and blood all over the deck. This one's fresh. And so here comes Grendel. They're alive. So they start fighting. Grendel's killing pirates. He's almost an unstoppable killing machine. Kicks this guy, shooting that guy. The crew is dying because they're not fighters. The pirates are just killing them. And Grendel goes after the leader, and he takes him out, stomps him out. That's great. That's a great shot, like from underneath with his boot coming down, you know. That's got to be difficult to draw. And sure enough, everybody's dead. There's people hanging, there's bodies, seagulls are eaten. And he said, I'm sorry you had to see that. Here comes the blast. And they blow up the ship. No survivors. Everybody was killed. And Grendel Prime says there never was any chance for the crew's survival. And precious little for our own. Now we must cover our trail. It's still a long way to Africa. So that's where they're headed, Africa. And man, I am so happy. Thank you, 420 Land Partier, for showing this and reminded me that how good it was. So I'm having a blast rereading this, and I'm having fun just showing it off. So, appreciate you guys watching, as always, and I will see you on the next one.